representing Team Liquid, the face of chess, Magnus Carlsen! The king of the game, the face of an era, a world champion who bent the game to his will, versus Team Falcons, Alireza Firouzja! The young prodigy, forged in fire, fearless, fighting for the crown. Will you beat Magnus Carlsen?
I got the good shot. Is your bow ready?
I'm ready. I'm a bit nervous. If you're not nervous for a final, I don't think you're alive. But I feel good, and I'm going to do my best.
Will he strike two, or will he be dethroned? Casters, let the grand finals begin!
Go pawn hunting as it does, and also defend his own pawn, and a big blunder.
Well, Magnus frowning. There's a huge move right now. He can trap Black's rook in the corner. This is so hidden, so difficult, but will Magnus Carlsen see it? He's frowning. The white knight can go to the B8 square. The black, he's found it, Magnus Carlsen. He's winning the black rook due to some back rank issues here. Double exclamation mark given. Firouzja, he hasn't realized yet, hasn't reacted, but suddenly he finds himself lost.
Firouzja in shock right now. That rook trapped from an innocuous position. It felt like this was fizzling out. All the trades that happened, and a one-move blunder. And look at that. You can take the queen, but the rook takes queen, comes in with a massive check. It's not checkmate. Firouzja can drop back with the queen, but he lose big material. Magnus Carlsen with a winning advantage here.
That is unbelievable. And out of nowhere, we have an incredible tactic. And suddenly, this is all Magnus Carlsen in game number one. Almost uncharacteristic of Firouzja there, but
Current position might be
involving of Firouzja. He knows that this first game is probably a loss. However, what can he do about it? What does his mentality look like?
simply. It's when the white rook lands on the 7th rank and when the king, the white king, is able to approach. At the moment, it can't get any closer, but Magnus now taking away squares from the black knight, for liberating his rook. Easy to kick the black king away, but it's the knight and the jumps there you need to be careful of.
You know, what was so impressive was that pattern, the tactical motive that Firouzja missed on the board and allowed his own rook to get trapped in its starting position was spotted by Magnus in under 1 second. The moment Firouzja moved his queen to the wrong square, Magnus, you could see it on him. He leaned forward. He was locked in. He knew that Firouzja had made a massive blunder.
Look how the black knight is actually trapped on its back rank. No squares. Magnus, almost with a head bob, kind of shaking in the chair now. He knows this is a dream start to him. I'm not going to fault Firouzja at all. That was the most hidden trick, most sneaky tactic I've seen so far at the EWC. And there we go. It's the first result of the grand final.
Resignation in game number one after an incredible tactic out of nowhere. Magnus Carlsen wins game one in set one.
Move. Come on, you have to move. Push your pawn to d6, do whatever. Move a rook. You are fine.
35 seconds. He's frozen.
Alireza Firouzja freezing there, making a rook move. And look at this counter strike by Magnus Carlsen, taking the white knight off the board. Double exclamation mark. He's counterattacking against the white queen. Look at what's about to happen. All the rooks coming off. White's 2 rooks are forked there. One of them had to give their life up. Magnus has equalized this endgame. It's level, but not on the clock.
And Magnus is now going to play to flag Alireza Firouzja, his rook, the more active one. Magnus about to pick up that d5 center pawn. He's just thinking, does he throw in the check? He decides not to. And that is Magnus Carlsen thinking to himself, he knows this is a draw. Is he going to play for dirty flagging with 26 seconds for his opponent?
Have to be ruthless here if you're Magnus Carlsen. Do not let your opponent off the hook. Firouzja, if the shoe was on the other foot, he would be playing for time right now.
3.5 minutes versus 26 seconds. At this point, it's not dirty, it's expected.
He plays on. He 100% plays on. He's going to play this on even with an hour on the clock. It's an endgame. You know, he sees the imbalances, and look at that. He thought he'd force Alireza into a think about this, and Alireza makes a wrong decision. This is what happens when you have no time on the clock against the world number one.
Exactly. It's easy for black to create a pass pawn on the right flank on the king side, 3 versus 2. Very difficult actually for white's 3 to mobilize because black's 2 doubled B pawns hold the fort. The white 3 cannot bypass them. The black king is coming. It was actually better there for the black B pawn to push even further to B4. That's a very natural move though from Magnus, and Alireza simply physically does not have enough time to finish this game. Under 20 seconds now. Some big decisions still ahead. Magnus, a bit of a shake of the head. Firouzja there, echoing that. Same for him. He knows he's going to get flagged.
One of Firouzja's biggest strengths is just the number of moves, the sheer number of moves he can get in under 20 seconds. But this position, where every move needs to be calculated, every mistake can be a losing move, that is hard. 17 seconds, David, Magnus gets this done.
You would say that, but Firouzja, this last move is fantastic. The White King is holding the Black King. It's keeping it honest. If the Black King ever gives way, the White King steps forward. Firouzja with 16 seconds. It's actually quite an easy draw now. But does he have time? That's the big question. Magnus has really slowed down.
This would be god-level hold by Alireza Firouzja if he manages to save this king-pawn ending with only 15 seconds against Magnus.
Magnus smiling because he knows it's a dead draw. There's no way through for the Black King into the white half of the board. The Black King can try all at once, but there's no path forward, and the Kings are already starting to dance.
It's a fortress and a repetition.
Draw by repetition. 2 minutes and 2 seconds, plays 14 seconds, but we were reduced to a position where
Magnus is trying to shut the door with his own bishop, but is it going to be enough?
That is the big question. He's defended one pawn. Can he defend the other pawn? Magnus Carlsen retreats the knight to do just that. Alireza has to activate the other bishop, gives a check to Magnus's king, falls back. 43 seconds on the clock. A minute deficit for Alireza, but Alireza is the one who's playing for a win.
Oh, I don't know. That black dark square bishop on b2 is trapped. He holds the White King away from moving towards it for now, but Alireza, he's playing without a piece. That black dark square bishop on b2 could potentially be doomed. Magnus can just sit now. Black has no winning plan. Magnus has built a fortress. 28 seconds for Firouzja. Will we see a repeat of what just happened in game 2? The players starting to move their pieces back and forth.
Or will this time Magnus Carlsen try to flag Alireza with the bishop trapped? And there Magnus, he's repeating again. He doesn't want to play on.
Eval Bar says Magnus actually has an advantage, but he doesn't realize it, and we see a draw by repetition for the second time in this first set.
Game number 3 ends peacefully but reluctantly. Magnus Carlsen now takes a 2-1 lead into the final regulation game of this first set.
And this is concerning, right? You make a move, you give up a pawn, your opponent takes the bait, and then you again go into a tank, make a move that you're not super happy with, and it turns out to be a blunder. Alireza coming in with a double attack, but there are checks that he needs to be careful about.
He's taking massive risk here. There are 2 checks that are very tempting for Magnus Carlsen. The Black Rook now able to infiltrate on the first rank. Magnus leaned back. I think he spotted something. The Black Bishop can maybe even jump in and sacrifice itself, something similar to what we showed earlier. Alireza smiling. He knows he's blundered. He spotted the refutation. Black has multiple winning moves here.
And Magnus starts with a flashy bishop takes pawn check on the board, and if this is captured, the knight will jump in with a check, forcing White's king to disconnect with the knight on g3. Knight d3 coming in, queen takes, knight coming in. Alireza cannot believe it. He is the master of tactics, but he's the one on the receiving end of this one. Magnus, super sharp today.
He's under 1 minute. He's got only a few seconds left. And look at this, walking forward with his king. He's now down 2 pawns, but this White King is simply not going to survive. The Black King, in the meantime, protected by its army. The pawn will block now. And Magnus's queen can even block, and this one is going to be over. Magnus will surely not let Firouzja back off the hook there, and there we go. It's actually checkmate to end this game.
Checkmate on the board, and it started with bishop takes f2. At 3.5 minutes, plays 1. Magnus Carlsen takes the full point, and with that, the first set.
He's going to have to try and create some tricks here, Magnus.
It's Alireza with 24 seconds, but it's Magnus Carlsen who's panicking right now.
Oh, look at Magnus's face. He is shocked. He's given up his queen, the world number 1. Here we go. It's rook and knight for a queen. Alireza Firouzja is winning, but does he have enough time on the clock? This is the best position he's had all match, all day. The Black King's so open as well. It's a race against the clock, 21 seconds. Can he convert?
That is the big question. Will it be enough time? He needs to combine that queen and bishop. First, he completely disconnects Black's rook, and Alireza with a shake of his head, just wishing he had that extra minute on the clock.
Magnus Carlsen is busted. The Black Rook is about to be hit. The White Queen is coming in. There we go. Black's pieces can barely move. The queenside pawns are gone, but 16 seconds. Magnus is going to have to be dirty about this.
Alireza has to win this. He has to convert this game at all costs right now. 16 seconds. This is where his bullet skills need to come in. Magnus trying to survive.
Black rook can barely move. There we go. The first pawn drops. The black rook coming in with a check. Some counterplay, some hope for Magnus Carlsen. But Firouzja's done everything right. He has activated God mode, Alireza Firouzja. He's pushing the B pawn forward for glory. It's creating counterplay for Magnus Carlsen in the meantime. 11 seconds, Tanya. Is it going to be enough?
That is the big question. Alireza Firouzja can get maximum number of moves when he's down on the seconds, better than anyone else in the world, and that's what he needs to do right now. Will he convert into a full point? He gives it up. Another queen appears on the board.
And Magnus blunders his rook.
He's about to resign.
Wow, Alireza Firouzja striking back. He's got 2 queens. 7 seconds should be more than enough. Magnus Carlsen gives up. What a turnaround.
An opening surprise and counter surprise not working out for Firouzja, leading to 5 minutes versus 1, but getting into a winning position with 20 seconds left on his clock and managing to convert against the world #1.
And this time, Magnus is going for Firouzja's clock. He's down in this set. He has to maximize his chances. He's not going to shy away from flagging him anymore in this match.
Magnus needs to make some quick moves. He has a 2-minute time advantage. It's going to be so difficult for Firouzja here. The black rook was almost trapped, creating some luft there, some escape squares. Black king shuffling. Magnus is pushing pawns. Black rook forced back. Still so unpleasant here, Tanya. The white knight dominates the bishop.
And no more pawns can be traded. And look at that. Magnus Carlsen, he wins a pawn. The first big advantage. He's converted his strategic points into a material advantage.
We go Firouzja creating some counterplay, hitting the white knight, which has to be defended now by the king or the rook. 1 pawn up, but it's not about the clock, about the pawns here. It's about the clock. Keep an eye on the red on your screens. Alireza Firouzja needs that fire, needs the speed.
He does, but will that even be enough with 11 seconds? And Magnus just playing this on endlessly, gives a check, drives the black king away. Magnus Carlsen winning now. He's trapped the bishop, and Alireza knows he resigns. Magnus Carlsen back in set 2.
Resignation, there we go, with 8 seconds left to go. The speed was incredible. The number of moves that were played in the last 30 seconds of that game, formidable, but not enough to stop the tide that is world #1, Magnus Carlsen. He fights back, and set 2 is now level.
The red appears. It's bullet time.
It's bullet time, and Magnus has an idea. That rook could transfer itself to that left flank behind the A pawn and start pushing it, which is why Firouzja was forced to bring back the queen, attacking that F6 pawn. Magnus does not repeat this. He's not going to bring his rook back. Whoa, he's sacrificing the F6 pawn.
He knows he can get the queens off the board. Next move, Magnus Carlsen, he's going to swing the black queen across to G7 in front of his own king. He's going to go for the trade. And Firouzja, if the queens disappear, it's all about the black A pawn. 40 seconds, though. He needs to decide. Queens off the board or on the board. Just make a move.
But how do you decide? Both are equally bad. Also, you've got no time. Alireza Firouzja frozen with no good options on the board. He jumps in with a knight. Magnus, he can trade. And look at Alireza. It's almost like he's giving up.
So frustrated. I've never seen him look this helpless, Alireza, on the camera. He can give a check with his bishop. He drops his queen and he drops his queen, Alireza Firouzja. It's a simple knight fork to end that game. The writing was on the wall anyway, but Magnus Carlsen takes the win. He's so close now.
3.
Exactly, Magnus has sped up again. Not for the first time. He's barely spent over 30 seconds for a single move in this game. And look at this, pawn to E6, the first blunder of this game, the first mistake. The white rooks are going to hit the black queen. It could be over now. The black queen has no good squares. Wherever you go, there's a double attack or a fork. Magnus now looking at the fans, smiling. He knows he's close. He knows he's about to get it. Team Liquid on the edges of their seats.
He knows this is over. The knight about to jump in with a big fork in the position, going material up. Firouzja will fight. He will try to play this on, but I'm not even sure for how long. This is completely busted for black. Magnus Carlsen vibing there.
There we go, knight for rook. Magnus has extra material. He's the exchange up. He's getting close now. The white rooks are coming in. The white C pawn sprinting forward. Firouzja has minimal counterplay. The white queen holds everything. Is this the final few moves of the Esports World Cup 2025? The black bishop trying to stem the tide, but it's desperate now.
Desperation on Firouzja. Magnus there, he wants to put the finishing touches as quickly as possible, but the whole show, the whole match by Magnus has been dominant so far.
This is absolutely incredible. Alireza Firouzja in a must-win situation. Magnus Carlsen had no business being this aggressive, gunning for this victory, but he only knows one mode. He truly has the heart of a champion, and he is displaying that here, saying, yes, I get that a draw is good enough, but here, watch what I can do.
Well, here at the Esports World Cup, he knows only one mode. That is that when liquid flows, it drowns everything.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Imperious from Magnus Carlsen, but it's not over yet. 5v2, material advantage. All the chips are stacked in his favor. Blunders can still happen. It is never over until it's over. He has to earn that full point.
Everything is earned here. Magnus Carlsen looking up. He's in calculation mode, trying to figure out if he can force it here and now. But there must be a little bit of a ghost in his mind. There was a blunder in game one of this second set when he had a winning position, up on time, up on the board. So Magnus, that's why he's double checking everything. That's why he's slowed down slightly. The longer this game goes on, the more hope for Firouzja. It's just a challenge, staying alive.
Remember, you make your own luck. You need to try and find a way to tempt Magnus into that mistake. Those mistakes do happen, but Firouzja needs to make it happen on command. Queen's off the board, and victory looking that much more remote.
And Magnus needs only a draw to win the match. He doesn't even need to win this game. He's completely winning.
And look at this, the C-pawn now forcing its way through. We're going to see the final move of the tournament.
Magnus Carlsen takes the victory. He wins game, set, and match against Team Falcons. Alireza Firouzja, Team Liquid will take home the 1,000 points for chess at the Esports World Cup. The GOAT reigns supreme, world #1, and now your Esports World Cup champion.
It's been awesome. I'm really thankful to EWC for believing in chess, for Team Liquid for believing in me as well, to make the Falcons at least fight a little bit for the team championship.
Magnus Carlsen!